Hello, my friends. So this is Therese Skelly with the Business Reinvention Summit, and I'm thrilled to bring you a dear, dear, dear friend. You're going to love my guest, Nancy Juetten. So Nancy, welcome. I'm thrilled that you're with us.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We go back like 15 years. We were at an event together, and Nancy's like, she's like 7 feet tall. No, how tall are you? How tall are you?
Almost 6 feet.
Yeah, she's really tall. And she's like this glorious, amazing woman that is so smart and so soulful and has skill that's like, wowza. And she's been through some stuff. And so when I thought of the Reinvention Summit, I was like, I got to reach out to Nancy. So I'm going to read her bio and then you're going to hear her story. And I love, like, Nancy's reinvention is like, right, it's amazing. And she's got a 5-step process and a path to really get your business and more so your life. Because here's the hint: you can't take your life out of your business, right? So Nancy and I are very much in agreement of you can't compartmentalize. So, all right, here's Nancy's bio. Since 2009, by Boring Bio Workbook Author and podcasting guest success expert Nancy Juetten has upgraded bios for speakers, experts, and authors who once struggled to broadcast their brilliance on paper or online. That workbook served as her magic carpet to make a favorable name for herself in the transformational coaching space. But it wasn't until she faced a life-threatening illness in 2022 that she was moved to reinvent her life and business. Today, she leads the Love Your Business, Love Your Life inner circle, makes time for white space on her calendar, and keeps focus on putting more life in her years. Her mantra: love your business and love your life, because without without one, the other isn't going to be good enough. So, just that. Oh, just the yumminess. So, wow.
Isn't that so much better than I went to school in whatever town and got this degree and wrote this
Yeah, yeah,
books and did
yeah,
whatever else I did?
exactly. Right. It's the
I think I
soulful
think
thing.
I think I'm over those kind of stories.
I think at this age and stage, we all are over this story. So, where do you want to start with the journey? Do you want to start with 2022 and what happened and or how that shifted things for you? Because that's what this is about, right? My premise when I designed the summit was my own story and seeing my clients like, oh my, everybody's going through stuff, right? And it impacts the way you do your business. You can't show up for life the same when you've had stuff. And so I love that you were here. So where do you want to start with that?
I think that's a really great place to start.
Okay.
Where I would begin is, anyone who's participating today has probably participated in, staged their own, or watched somebody do what we call in the internet marketing world the big launch.
Oh, yes.
And that's where you marshal all your resources and
Mm-hmm.
work through all your connections and find a way to create a stampede of people that can't wait to attend your 5-day challenge, your masterclass,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So here we were, and it was May of 2022,
Okay.
and I had 1,250 people registered for what was going to be the largest
Amazing.
masterclass of my
Yeah.
career. And I had spent months and months doing all the things that you're supposed to do to bring about that result.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was just cooking with gas. And
Okay.
2 weeks before the whole party was to start, I went to the doctor, had a whole bunch of tests, and sat down with the doctor. And she said, I hate to be breaking it to you, but you've got breast cancer. And we're looking at a whole variety of procedures and surgeries and this and that and the other. And not to mention these other issues that came up. And I guess we're going to have to play triage about what we're going to do first. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I've hardly ever taken a vitamin and I've been healthy all my life. And now you're telling me that the whole thing is just about ready to, crumble. So that was sort of a moment for me, which was, do I stand and deliver and serve those 1,250 people that I had worked so hard to lasso? Or do I crawl into a ball, do the ugly cry, and just fall apart? And I thought about it for a while, and I thought good professionals stand and deliver on their promises. And so I
Wow.
compartmentalized
Yeah. Yeah.
this news and stood and delivered like my life depended on it.
Mm.
And like any other, hardworking internet entrepreneur, I made an offer with heart, smarts, and passion,
Yeah.
and people said yes. And I thought, okay, now I have this host of
Yeah.
amazing people that are going to be coming into my new thing that I'm doing that I'm so excited about. And at the same time, I'm going to be battling this series of health challenges. How the heck am I going to do that?
Right.
So
Right.
that really was the start of me
Mm.
finding a way to reinvent both my life and my business. And I should, spoiler alert, I am well now.
Don't you look
Everything's
gorgeous? Yeah. Yeah.
come
Yeah.
through it. Doctors give me an excellent prognosis, but it's not to say that the journey that you take, any life-threatening illness for yourself or a loved one, it's an incredibly major distraction from your focus of day-to-day doing
Mm.
business.
So how did, well, obviously you like, so you already gave one little, like, you like, okay, I made a choice here, because everybody would have said, oh, poor Nancy, oh my gosh, cancel. Like, nobody would have thought you were lazy for that one, right? But there was something in you. So talk about what was it that was like, the show goes on? Like, what is that? Because that's kind of wild in that situation that you made that choice. So let's speak to that, because again, maybe you didn't have a cancer diagnosis, maybe your kid got sick, or maybe somebody died, or maybe you woke up in COVID and you're like, ugh, life's too short, I have to do something different. So it might not be the same story, but there are these decision points in all of our lives. And so I love to pull out, like, you can model how Nancy did it. So share about that.
One thing I would say is that if if you try to maintain some kind of business as usual, even to a small extent,
Mm-hmm.
it's really a great way to distract yourself from the thing that's really got
Okay.
your
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
And so otherwise you could just wallow in
Right.
self-pity or
Right.
whatever else you want to do.
Yeah.
So it's really great to have some structure.
Okay.
With regard to structure, when we lead live calls and we do ask me anything calls, or we
Mm-hmm.
lead a mastermind call or whatever, it's really important to schedule that. So like I had to take into consideration the treatment that I was going to be taking. And so I thought,
Yeah.
okay, if my calls are on Wednesdays, then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I can rest or recover.
Nice.
And
Nice.
so whatever your diagnosis or situation, having a little bit of structure to your
Mm-hmm.
days so that you can be on when you need to be on and you can rest and recover when you need to rest and recover. That's very important. Another decision that
Beautiful.
folks should make is, are you going to tell people that you're dealing with this
Mm-hmm.
challenge, or are you going to keep it as,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to be frank, I decided to keep it a secret because
Wow.
I sometimes people will reveal bad news or things they're struggling with on social, and then you see this string of emojis and you know
Mm-hmm.
pat responses, you've got this and all that kind of stuff. And I find that to be very disingenuous and not very helpful. So I thought to myself, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm just going to have a very,
Wow.
very close inner circle of my husband, my sister, my best friend to help me navigate this, because I didn't want it to. I was really afraid that if people knew that I was contending with this, that it would be repelling to them and
Mm-hmm.
that they might
Sure.
not want to do business with me. And
Absolutely.
that sort of thing. So you have to make a decision about that. And so what ended up happening is it was a 12-week course I was teaching live with all these amazing people. And I just doubled down on being as amazing and service to them as I possibly could. And I think that the people that were in there that knew me well had a feeling something was going on,
Okay. Okay.
but they didn't know. And so the last day I confessed. And I said, I feel that
Oh
I need to
my.
clean and let you know that I've I've been dealing with something on the sidelines here that's been fairly profound, and I wanted to let you know that having you here to give me
Mm.
focus was a way for me to keep my eye on the ball and stay in the game, and I'm so grateful. And as it just happened, that same day, they sent me this beautiful
Oh,
award, and they didn't even know I was sick. But what
yeah.
it says here is appreciation, recognition, and acknowledgement for your exemplary expertise in building a supportive and caring community that rises together. How you do anything is how you do everything. They didn't know I was sick, but they sent this to
That's
me
remarkable. Oh,
the same day.
Nancy. Oh my
And I
gosh.
thought,
Yeah.
wow, that lets me
There you
know
go.
that I made the right decision to stand and
Yeah.
deliver and serve my heart out. And during that whole process, I was thinking to myself, I think there's a bigger, bolder way for me to be of service.
Mm,
And so this is where courage is required, because usually when people are involved in some kind of a training, they're kind of expecting, well, what else do you have after we finish this? Is there some way
right, right.
deeper?
Yeah.
And I remember saying to them, I have an idea of something I'd like to do that's a little bit different than anything I've
Mhm,
ever done before.
mhm.
And if you'd like to come along, this is what I have in mind. And won't you take the leap with me? And half the group decided to take the leap with me. And that was the beginning of the Love Your Business, Love Your Life inner
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah. Oh, oh. Well, I want to get to your process in a minute because you got some really good points. But I want to, can you articulate like the before? Like, because you've always been just sterling. You've always been just like one of the gold people. Like one of the, when people hear your name, like, oh, she's one of the good ones, right? You have heart to serve, stellar integrity. But what changed in terms of, okay, I faced this thing. Obviously, you had different values, priorities, time considerations. Can you just summarize, like, going into the new you? What was in place where you're like, oh, different game? So can you summarize
Well, first, let me say thank you for that
that?
very
Yeah, of course.
lovely compliment, because
Yeah,
nothing matters more to me than having a reputation that is what you've just described. So the fact that that's how you know me makes me
yeah,
incredibly proud.
yeah,
So one thing I would say, just girlfriend to girlfriend,
yeah.
is I've always been very nice and very generous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, but I joke that my velvet boot of accountability has a much sharper edge now, because I don't have patience for people that don't do what they say they're going to do. The
Mm,
metaphor is, are you at the merry-go-round going round and round, or are you on the racetrack ready to run for the roses to accomplish that big thing that you want? And when I say to someone, okay, so you're committed to doing A, B, C, D, and E between now and the next time we meet, and then if I meet with them the next time and they haven't done it, my patience is very thin. My patience is very thin, because we don't know how much time we're going to have.
yeah, yeah,
And if we're mission driven and we have
right.
something important to do, what are we doing languishing at the merry-go-round when we could be running for the roses? So my patience for people that don't do what they say is very thin. I am much quicker to set higher boundaries and standards for
Mhm,
myself,
good, nice, nice.
which means that while I get many invitations to speak on summits and participate in giveaways and do all kinds of wonderful things, I have to really look at these opportunities through the filter of, is this the best way for me to invest my time, energy, and resources to get the result and make the impact that's crucial to me? Or is this a um, marginal opportunity that I can let pass me by? Because I don't want to waste my time tending to marginal opportunities when bigger opportunities would be of better service to me and everyone
Wow,
else that's involved.
that's I know one of your points speaks to that. So let's get to your I love these. Like, and this again, this her process, her pillars or points, whatever, they're not just for a life-threatening diagnosis. I think they're pretty applicable to have a really good life and business. So what's the first one? Like if you're gonna do a reinvention, what's your first point?
The first point is to name and claim what your core values truly are, and to make sure that every move you make and every action you take is aligned with those values. And if you get really clear about what you value,
Mhm,
you will have a really great filter through which to say, that's not a fit, I won't
mhm,
commit.
mhm.
That's not a fit, I won't commit. And that's one of my fun little things I say. If it's not a fit, don't
Don't
commit.
commit.
But if you're going to commit, go all in. So,
Yeah.
do you care about family? Do you care about health? Do you care about having white space on your calendar for hobbies? Do you care about, are you trying to build an empire, or are you trying to build a boutique style business where you get to work with a jewel box of amazing people? Some people never think through
Right.
that question, and that's a big one. If you're building an empire, you have to say yes to things that will allow you to accomplish that. But maybe building an empire isn't what you really want to do. And I know that's not what I want to do. I want to work with a jewel box of amazing clients where I get to go deep and support them in the ways that I know how, and have them create a great result. But, I don't do the things that where the words and the music don't match. So knowing your values,
so
very, very
good.
important.
And hold on a second. If this takes discernment, because how many of us, either ourselves or people we know or our clients, have signed up with mentors going, oh my gosh, I love what you're saying, but it's not in alignment with their values, right? And it never works, even though they've had the success or their formula was perfect for them. If you're in a different place and you're like, I don't have the time, or I don't have the capacity energetically or with family. So you have to make sure your mentors match said values, right? Like the people you're going to partner with, because I've been shamed. Other people have been shamed for, well, you don't want it badly enough. Why don't you just work 16 hours if you want to make money? Like, right. So I think that's an industry thing too.
I think this is so huge, because when you're new in your business and you don't really, maybe you've had a successful career in corporate America and you've taken the leap to create an entrepreneurial venture, you're kind of in a situation where everything's new and you don't know who to pay attention to. So you might be paying attention to the super duper 7 or 8 figure business owner that sounds really great to you. And you don't have the filter through which to say, am I prepared to make the sacrifices required to build a business like that?
Right.
Could I build something that's more aligned with my unique sensibilities and my unique skills and be just as happy? Because you can make money, have fun, make money. One without the other isn't good enough. There are people that are making tons of money that are are divorced, their kids won't talk to them, their health is a mess, they're alone in their room.
Yeah, we don't want that for you.
That's not the life I want.
Not the life. Okay, but I'm glad we brought that up. So align with your values. All right, number 2.
Figure out what's cake and what's cringe to you. Cake. I love doing interviews. I love working with people privately. I love leading my mastermind. But you know what I don't like? Cringe to me. If someone says, well, Nancy, you're going to have to do a big launch. And I'm going to say, well, no, I'm not. I am a fan of the anti-launch launch. And if that's what's required to get 1,250 people and to get the whole song and dance squared away so that I have 1,200 people to sell to, I'm not going there. It's just not my way. And I recognize the consequence of that. I will have a more intimate boutique style business, but I'll be working with people that appreciate the way that I do what I do. And that's great for me.
Okay, hold on now. Hold on. Because here's my filter is hearing objections or hearing but oh God, and what happens is there's the marketing rules, there's the paths, this is what's been done. And it's almost like heretical. You're a nut job, right? To say, I'm going to walk away from the proven. And so what does it take to follow the guidance? Because that's a strong person to say, not for me. I'm going to just stay in my lane because I know what works for me. So like what ideas, beliefs, thoughts, just like allow you to say no and allow you to pave your own way? Because I think that's a big modeling piece. What's in there, Miss Nancy?
Well, I wrote this down last night. Was just having a chat with my husband of 37 years. And I said, I have a need to play a role that's uniquely mine and to be brilliant in that space. I have a need for that. And I want to be that. So that means that I have to be the best I can and to let my freak flag fly.
There we go.
And
Yeah.
recognize that relationships matter to me, perhaps more than the money.
Mhm.
And, you know, I joke because there's this gentleman in the Olympic Games this summer, Steven Nadarosik. He was the pommel horse king.
Okay.
He's a specialist. The only thing he does is pommel horse. And even if he's sitting there in the Olympic arena for 5 hours meditating on what he's going to do in 2 minutes during his campaign,
Mhm.
that's the only thing he does. But when he gets called in to do it, he nails it,
Right.
and they win the medal. And I
Mhm.
think that I'm much more of a specialist than a
Yeah.
generalist. And
Yeah.
I think if that's your situation, you have to own that and be that
I love that.
without apology. And I'm not apologizing. If people say,
Mhm.
oh, you could play a much bigger game, well, yeah, I suppose I could, but
It's your
I'm going to
game.
love my business and
It's
love my
your
life,
game.
and one
Right.
without the other isn't good enough.
Right.
And that's a really important thing to consider, no matter what model. Do
Mhm.
you want to lead a summit? Do you want to do a giveaway? Do you want to do a big launch? Are
Yeah.
you hitting both feet on the floor in the morning saying, I can't wait to get started? Then you're in the cake zone and you should do it. But if you have hesitation, if it's not feeling right to you, if it doesn't feel aligned for you, all of that is going to
Listen to that.
manifest in the way that it is delivered, and it will be
Right.
repelling to people anyway. So you will have just shot yourself in the foot.
So trust the cringe. That could be the hashtag, trust the cringe. Because seriously, it's not meant to be yours. If it's not in alignment, you need to trust it, and your way or another way will be revealed that will be as nourishing for you and as yummy. All right. You're writing down trust the cringe. You can use
I
it.
love that.
You
That's a
have
good
it.
one. I love
All right.
that.
So a third point, darling.
Be discerning. Opportunities will come your way.
Mhm.
Check in with your values, check in with your cake and cringe list, and see if the opportunity or the client or the whatever it is truly where your energy is. Your energy, your enthusiasm, and your engagement. If you feel that,
Mhm.
discern that this is the right thing to do. If you don't feel it, well, that's something to listen to also, because the next step in the process is to get comfortable saying no. And it could be, I'm so honored to be asked, I'm not able to. Could I perhaps recommend someone
Mhm.
else?
Perfect. Right.
Thank you so much. My dance card is full.
Yeah.
I wish I could help you further, maybe next time. Or it could simply be, gosh, that's so kind of you, but it's a no for now.
Yeah.
All the best. But get good at saying no, because if you deliberate and you don't say no to things, you end up having a dance card that's way too full. And then you may end up dropping balls that you weren't expecting to catch the one that you needed to be at a certain time. And then what do you know? You have no white space on your calendar and you're in a panic all the time. And how is that good for anybody?
And a lot of the women I work with, and maybe you do too, in the beginning, and this is, I feel, telling on myself here. I think we come into it with people pleasing because we're service based. Like we want to help, right? We want to, I have an idea. And it's so easy to get tipped into that over giving, proving energy, caretaking. And then we all hit the adrenal burnout or something else happens, right? And so it's actually kinder for me. It's like, I don't work evenings. No, I'm not working. Sorry, I don't see clients at 8. Nope, sorry, not working weekends. No, like,
Thanks for asking.
yeah, good for you. Or like, what in the hell, you want to be seen on a Saturday? No, I don't really do that. But I mean, like, my point is, we all start there. We give too much, and then we find the way. Like, this is because it's your energy. Your energy is a commodity, and that's what you discovered in your journey. Is like, holy crap, life's short. You don't know. And I'm all about having gone through what I go through. Is my most important thing is restoration. Like that tops everything. And so watch where you're giving, over giving, and watch the stories that keep you in over giving. And then like, oh, they would think I'm so mean if I, no, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. They're not paying your bills, right? Like you are responsible for maintaining your energy and your life. So I love the how to have a no,
Well,
cringy
and,
cake.
and
Love
underneath
that.
all that is, do the math.
Yeah.
Sometimes if we're a creative person or a multi-talented person or multi-passionate person,
Mhm.
we just say yes to things that we get an intuitive hit that that's something we're supposed to do. And I'm not saying don't do that, but
Yeah.
I am saying once you've fulfilled your commitment and given it your very best, do a debrief to find out what happened as a result of that.
ROI, yeah.
Did you get the goals accomplished that you set? Was it a good audience to message match? Would you revisit the same partnership a second time and deepen it, or would this be a no?
Right. That's
I think
beautiful.
sometimes creative people forget to do the math,
I think so.
and that gets them into trouble because you end up saying yes to things that don't ultimately serve you. So even if you're creative and that's not your first thing, do the math. How many opt-ins did you get? How many sales did you get? How many follow-up spin-off engagements did you welcome? How many introductions to amazing people did you welcome because you did such a great job? These kinds of things can help you monetize whatever it is that you're doing in the world. And so do the math.
Do the math. Okay, what's point 5?
I think this is true for all of us. No matter what life throws in your path, it's up to us to show up and be the human being, the client, the joint venture partner that we most want to attract. So bring good energy wherever you go. Be the example that you want to set for your kids. Be proud of yourself for being compassionate and empathetic to people's real life situations. But even if you're going through something hard, you can come out on the other side even better. And I think that for myself, having gone through a very difficult health journey, that I was fortunate to come out on the other side. I think it just let me know that I've only got one shot at this life. I want it to be the best life that I can possibly have. I want to have more life in my years. I don't want to waste time doing things that make me cringe. I don't want to hang out with people that make me feel less than. I just want to do my part and, and feel good about the contribution. Because when people say, people like you, say beautiful things about my reputation. I've been in this business since 2001. And if that's the kind of reputation that I have, if I'm hit by a bus tomorrow and that's what people remember, I think I will have done a pretty good thing.
It's so good. I love how intentional that is, because we can get about the business of doing and just, I gotta go to this launch. And I love the invitations, like, who are you being? How are you showing up? How do people know you? And I think that's a beautiful way to wrap this up, because we can't control the diagnosis, but we can control how we show up. We can control the energy we give and our way of being in the world. So, okay. I'm sure people are, go ahead. I saw something else.
I was going to say that, coming from a kind of a practical, tactical background, the first time I heard someone say, "Who are you being right now?" I kind of wanted to throw tomatoes at their head.
And now you're one of us.
What are you saying? And what does that mean? And I get it now. I so get it. Who you are being, how you're showing up in your full expression, having the courage to be who you are without apology and feeling really good about who that is. That's the energy that you bring to whatever work that you do. So bring the best of it forward. The right people will be attracted and the wrong people will be repelled. And either way, it's great.
It's a win. Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh. I'm sure people listening to this are like, who is this wonderful woman and where do I find more of her? So I know you have a beautiful gift. So why don't you tell us about the gift? And guys, the links will be in all the places. So you'll get the link. So you just tell us about the gift, what they get, and we will provide you all the links.
Okay, very good. If you would like to get in touch with the core values that are most important to you, so you can create your own cake and cringe list, discern what's right for you, say no to things that are wrong, I have this beautiful guide that asks you to answer 6 crucial questions to get to the meat of that matter. And so you can download it, answer those questions for yourself. And I'm modeling my own answers within the report so you can get to know me more deeply. And if it turns out that I'm the person that you want to connect with further, well, I will look forward to that.
So you never fail to deliver. You always just deliver such yumminess. I'm delighted that we are connected and you are a blessing. And so thank you so much for sharing your journey. So listeners, viewers, if you have questions for Nancy, if you have any comments, just reach out, let me know, and you can reach out to her. Make sure you download her. It's a beautiful guide. And then you get really nice follow-up emails, because she's kind of a queen. Like, she's an OG. And this is a woman that literally is like, oh, she's so good. So you'll want to follow all the stuff she does. She didn't really talk a lot about her other things, her professional, the podcasting, the groups and stuff, but you'll get to know her and follow that. So Nancy, you have been a blessing. Thank you so, so, so much. And so thanks for listening and watching, and make sure you catch the next speaker on the summit. Bye now.